if I was just given my ultimate wish of being a team builder in professional sports, which is the ultimate goal, Craig Breslow, you need someone to get you coffees, take your laundry, wash your car. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. Would love it. But just kidding. Not really. Would absolutely love the opportunity to be in baseball. But being a team builder has always been fun. But a lot of shows do rebuilds and they talk about a GM, how would they do it? So I want to put a different flavor on it, just a little bit of a different flavor in terms of how I was going to present this type of content, how I was going to present being a GM. And this is if I was GM for one day, if Breslow granted me 24 hours to be the GM, the baseball ops guy of a team. I guess I kind of leaked it there, who I'm going to talk about, but this is GM for a day. This is going to be the third segment. And today, as I just kind of leaked it out because I got a big mouth, we're going to be the GM of the day for the Boston Red Sox. So if Breslow said, hey, Kiwoom, I saw Diamond Discos. You want to come up to Fenway and be the GM for a day? I need to take a break. I want to hang out with the kids between now and New Year's Eve. I'm like, yes. Can I do anything as GM? He said, yes, full range. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Well, this is what I would do. After signing Walker Buehler, the next move for the Sox is a right-handed bat. And, we've seen names floated around, free agents of all calibers, high-end free agents, stopgap, platoon types. Randall Grichuk is a name that comes to mind. But me as GM for a day, I'm going to explore and execute a move that brings in a true top of the lineup type of right-handed bat. I don't want a platoon number 7 type of guy, bottom third of my lineup. I want a right-handed bat that I can insert at the top third, make him either my 3-4-5, 2-3-4-5, whatever. I just want a top of the lineup bat, a difference maker from the right-handed side of the plate. Because when you look at this Red Sox lineup, there's a hell of a lot of lefties. I mean, as of right now, when you look at the projected starting lineup, Duran, Devers, Cassis, Yoshida, Abreu, all left-handed bats that project to have pretty much an everyday role. So it's imperative right now that the Sox add a right-handed bat. And as GM, I would explore 3 avenues, and I'm going to talk through all 3. The first avenue that I want to talk about is the most expensive route. Let's shoot for the moon here. I need to talk about it. And this is I'm going to call up a team that has been very familiar with the Red Sox. They've had open conversations all offseason, so much so they've made not 1 but 2 trades together, 1 big, 1 small. And that's the Chicago White Sox. So I'm going to ask, listen, what's it going to take for Louis Robert? I don't know how you say it. I say it both ways, and in this very segment, I will probably say it both ways. Lou Bob. Let's go Lou Bob. What's it going to take for Lou Bob? I want this player. This is a guy that has had a season where he had 150 WRC plus. In 2023, a 130, just about 130 WRC plus 128. And he's a player that has all the tools. He's still in his prime of his career at 27 years old and could absolutely use a change of scenery. Nobody wants to play for a team that's projected to be a bottom feeder, will be a bottom feeder, is coming off of the worst season ever for a professional baseball team. No one wants to be a part of that. And, you always hear about the Fenway righties. You want to be able to hit it over the monster, blah, 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 of course. But the spray chart for Louis Robert is an all-around hitter. It's not just a pull, dead set type hitter. Robert is that type of player that can go right into this lineup and be the anchor, the right-handed yin to the yang of Rafael Devers. This is a guy that can, come in and be a part of this organization for years to come. Now, why I would ultimately probably not make this move is the prospect price. Breslow did a very good job, and now he's relinquished the duties to me. So I have to use the information of the past few weeks and the past month and see where we'll go. And if you really want to be realistic here, the White Sox are very familiar with the prospects at the top of the Red Sox organization. And Breslow did a great job, in my opinion, negotiating it down to Kyle Teal, the 4th best, not touching that top 3. Anthony, Mayer, Campbell, all here still. My guess is it would take one of those 3. I don't know if we could go down. Montgomery was already sent away. It felt like Breslow already maxed out the prospects that he was willing to send to Chicago to get Crochet. Now, Crochet was the more important of the two. And maybe there was talks. And if I was GM for a day, I would be made privy of this information, but I don't know. I would imagine that they maybe talked about a potential Robert addition and what prospects that might take. But when you look at the projected trades, it is one of the top prospects in the system. I have seen reports that felt a little lackluster, felt a little light, but that's why they're just rumors and there's no real heat to it, because I would imagine getting a guy with this type of contract, Lewis Robert is in the middle of a 6-year, $50 million deal. This AAV right now is under $10 million. I mean, it is so beyond team friendly that even if, the White Sox are looking to rebuild, why not keep this guy around? Like I said, only 27 years old. He's still going to be 27 when the season kicks off. He'll turn 28 in the middle of it, but he's just been a good player with tremendous upside. We know the talent. He hasn't. We don't think we've seen that talent, but this is a guy that even in a down year, 10% barrel percentage, hits the ball about 40% of the time. He hits a hard 40% of the time, and a guy that I don't believe is the 224 hitter that we saw last year. I think he's closer to that 270, maybe even 280, the years that we saw in 2022 and 2023. But the prospect price is going to be high, and that's ultimately why that's not the move I would do if I was GM for a day. The next avenue that I would explore, I'd give the Cardinals a call. And I'd say, listen, St. Louis, Chaim Bloom, we know he's there. Bing bong, Chaim Bloom. We know he's there. He was here. Now he's there. What are you looking to do about Nolan Arenado? Clearly, the market's a bit cool on Arenado. But here's the thing, St. Louis, I'm not taking on that contract. And I know it's not a lot left. It's just 3 years. I think around 75 million-ish, maybe a little more, 80 million. He's making about 30 million a year over these next 3. So it's like, hey, I'm not just going to take him. I need something else. Because you want to get players that could make a difference. You don't want to take just like my development prospects. You want to take something a little more cachet, maybe something a little closer to big league ready. And I'm not going to do that. I do have a little bit of money. The Red Sox are about 55, 60, depending on how things settle under the luxury tax. So there is room. So we do have some room to take on some money. So you don't have to eat too much money. But what I need from you is pitching. So Ryan Hensley, what you thinking? You gonna add him for me? You gonna add him in? Ryan Hensley, please add him. I need a closer. Would love a back end of the bullpen guy. Those guys, absolute cheddar Bob. How about Eric Fetty? Throw in Eric Fetty. We could use that type of arm. And my guess would be it would cost a little bit too much financially to bring these guys in, especially Fetty, who got the 3-year deal last offseason from the Cardinals. Do they want to dump Sonny Gray, who had a good season, but that's going to cost both financials and prospects? I don't see this deal end up being happening. And the reason why I don't see it happening is the number one thing you need in negotiation is the ability to walk away with nothing, right? And I think that I have that here. I don't have to take Nolan Arenado. I have options. So I don't have to take him. That's a good ability. That's leverage you can use. And now I look at his analytical profile. I'm seeing a guy that's been hardly over league average, WRC plus 106, 102 over the last couple of years. We're seeing the WOBA tank down to 314, which was the lowest mark since 2020, which obviously was the weird COVID year. So you could make the argument it's never been this low. And then I look at the batted ball data. I say to myself, career low in hard hit rate, career low in barrel rate by a long shot. This is a career 7% barrel hit. Well, previous to this, it was higher than that, but a 3.2% barrel rate last year. Slow swing. All the X stats kind of suggest that he might have been hitting a little bit above his skill set last year. Defense is still solid, don't get me wrong, but it's not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be. And I know what it used to be was ridiculous. I get it. His defensive run save metric. This is a guy that's had been, he always flirted with 20. Had a year he had 23 defensive runs saved. But it was at 6 last year. Which, again, is good. But it's not dynamic. And now I have to move Rafael Devers off of their base. How's that going to go? I'm not doing it. Not going to do it. But the move I would do as general manager of the Boston Red Sox is I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance with the devil. And that devil is Scott Boras. And I'm going to say, listen, Scott, that we, the Boston Red Sox, have long fancied Alex Bregman. We've long wanted him. We tried drafting him. We did draft him back in the day. We tried getting him. Where was he selected? He was picked in 2015, second overall pick. We were just a couple picks away from being able to land him. We couldn't, but we liked him. We brought him in. We showed him Fenway. He's been a fan of the Sox. He's talked about liking the Sox in the past, and we need to bring this player in. And I know you want $200 million. Where's your market? The Yankees ain't doing it. Detroit? With the Boston fucking Red Sox. And I'm going to get a deal done. I'm going to get a deal done for Alex Bregman. MLB trade rumors has him earmarked for 7-year, 189. It's probably going to take a little bit more than that. Regardless, whether it be 6 at a higher AAV, 5 at a really inflated AAV, 7 at 25, 26, 27, 28 million a year, I'm bringing him in. I'm bringing in Alex Bregman. This is the move I am doing as the Red Sox GM for a day because, I don't envision Alex Bregman as the staple of an offense. I think in terms of a true contender, a favorite even going into the season, Bregman's your number 5. He's a number 5, number 6 hitter. But for the Sox, he's going to probably pencil in as your number 3. It's probably going to go Duran, Devers, Bregman, Cassis, Story. That's strong. And then you look at the analytical profile. This is where my scouts help me out. And I look at a guy that doesn't seem to be fading all that much, even though, I think the community, the baseball world kind of believes he had a down year. But I see a guy, 118 WRC plus, still above average. I see a guy that gets on base, a guy that doesn't strike out a lot. He hasn't struck out a lot over his whole career. This is a career 13% K rate guy. And he walks at nearly that rate. I mean, we're almost looking at a 1-for-1 K to walk rate. This is a guy you want in your lineup. This is a guy with moxie. This is a guy with championship pedigree. This is a winner. And I know a lot of my analytics team here in the Red Sox, they're going to poo-poo that. They don't care about clutch. They don't care about je ne sais quoi. Well, me, and what you'll get to know about me here on Diamond Discourse is I am the founding member, the president of the bro science community when it comes to athletics. I believe in clutch. I believe in a winning mentality, and I believe winning starts at the top. And the Boston Red Sox, and I would say it to my bosses for a day. Listen, you guys used to just exude. You love winning. I'll do anything to win. And that's dissipated. And we're going to get that back up. Breslow is doing a great job proving how much he wants to win, getting out there, scrapping, staying up all night, getting that Garrett Crochet deal. I applaud him for that. But for me, as GM for a day, I am getting a deal done with Alex Bregman. I need him on this team. This is a 260 hitter that hasn't shown even a slight bit of fall off. He hit the ball harder last year than he ever has in his career. He barreled the ball up as good last year as he had throughout his entire career. We're looking at a guy who's coming off the season with some of the highest exit velocities of his career. And at 30 years old, he might not be in the middle of his prime, but he's on that back nine of his prime. He still has solid seasons. And even if the skill set diminishes, in years 3, 4, 5 of the contract, the presence, the winning mentality, what he brings, the stardom, the front of the locker room, the addressing the media, it's everything that they lack on this roster. I mean, Devers, as good as he is, he's their best player without a doubt, but he's not that franchise guy. He's not that hop on, boys. We're going to go as far as I take him. Bregman has that in his range of outcomes. He has that mentality, and that is why if I was GM of the Red Sox for just one day, I am signing Alex Bregman and putting him at the top of this Red Sox lineup.